Well, hello and welcome to another hardcore Nuzlocke. Today I want to attempt a run of Pokemon Platinum using only the Fire type. As you guys know, the Fire type did get the short end of the stick, especially in these earlier generations. Diamond and Pearl, as a matter of fact, gave us access to Chimchar and Ponyta. The Fire type Elite Four member Flint was given a team of Infernape, Rapidash, Driftblim, Steelix, and Lopunny. Quite the Fire type team. Now, of course, by the time Pokemon Platinum came out, Game Freak had learned the error of their ways, and they did give us more Pokemon. Flint got a full team of 5 Fire types, and those are the Fire types that are available to us. Of course, the Chimchar and Ponyta, as we just mentioned, but also we can get our hands on a Flareon, a Houndour, and a Magmar. I was going to say Houndoom there, but Houndour first. That's it. Now, after you beat the Elite Four, if you have a Fire Red game and you can put it in your DS, you can get your hands on a Growlithe, and if you have Leaf Green, you can get a Vulpix. But those two encounters are not available to us until post-game, so we're going to have 5 Pokemon to play around with. This is going to be one of those runs. We're going to have to do a lot of thinking, and I think we can do it. Now, if you guys are sitting here wondering, the answer is yes. Eventually, we definitely will. Well, hey, Algo. How you doing, buddy? It's good to see you. Yeah, I just got done watching. Absolutely. Yep. We have lots and lots of Pokemon. Yeah, we'll go talk to the professor. Hey, no. Yeah, just let's not talk about it. Deleting your own browser history, I see. Smart. I should have done the same. Yeah. That $10 million, though, I don't... This guy. Now, this is one of those rare instances where we actually get to use and keep a starter. Chimchar is a great Pokemon, and once it evolves, it gets the fighting type. It's going to have some great coverage. Couple that with a decent little move pool, and this is going to be a vital piece of our team. Now, moments ago I asked, hey, if you guys are wondering, the answer is eventually yes. That was me just being cheeky. I know some of you are wondering if I'm going to do the Diamond and Pearl fire-only type run, and the answer is eventually. Not right now. It's not going to be the next episode. That one is going to take a lot of planning, a lot of forethought. Let's just get through Platinum first. Now, of course, just like in every single run, since I think the 3rd run, we name our rival Algorithm because we are trying to beat the algorithm both in-game and in real life. The YouTube algorithm is something that few have beaten, and I want to beat it. You guys can help me beat the algorithm in real life by liking my video, commenting, and of course subscribing to the channel. This is the interactive portion of the video. If you guys want to continue any kind of conversations that were had here in the video or in the comment section down below, we can do so over in the Discord. I do have one. I've mentioned it in a few videos. The link is always in the description of any of these videos. Now, as you guys have seen or are seeing currently, we are changing out our layout just a little bit. You know, I want to make it better. I always do things like adding the different backgrounds depending on the types that we're running. Always try to keep up with different things. A lot of comments that are made in my videos I do take to heart, and I do change things. Obviously, we're not going to change every little thing that everybody says, but the comments are welcome nonetheless because our videos have gone from our very first normal type run in Fire Red, which was a good video, but definitely my first Nuzlocke, to what they are now. And they are 10 times better. So thank you ever so much for the continuing comments. And please do comment on what you think about this layout here. I hope you guys like it because I personally love it. Yeah, it's a great little layout. This battle has taken way too long. But as you can see, we're actually going to beat Algo's Piplup. Let's go. Well, let's take a look at our starter Chimchar that we did nickname Jack. It has a naive plus speed minus special defense nature. I would have liked a plus attack nature because this is going to be a physical Infernape eventually, but that plus speed nature, it's going to come in clutch. So I will take it. Not a bad little Pokemon. Now, of course, in these runs, the first thing that we need to do is some EV training. We need to get ourselves some attack EVs. I have a 3-part plan to beat the Rock-type trainer Roark in the first gym, and this is the first part. Now, before we talk about the foolproof plan, we are going to talk a little bit about what I said a few episodes ago when it came to leading with kindness, leading with compassion, with love. I kind of was very vague in what I said, and I wasn't quite ready to talk about or give context to why I said what I said. Across every social media platform I've ever been a part of, in my old Minecraft videos, in the old server I used to play on in Minecraft, always promoted kindness, love, compassion. You never really know what people are going through, and a really good friend of mine lost that battle we didn't know he was fighting. Trust me when I say that even if you think there's nobody out there that would care, there's somebody that is going to be devastated. So please, 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 if you are having some issues or you're having some troubles, reach out. People would rather sit and talk than have to read about what happened on social media or wherever. I can't stress it enough, please. The world is not a better place without you in it. I mean that wholeheartedly. You never really truly know what somebody's going through, and people also can't help you fix a problem that they don't know exists. So, people don't typically do things out of malice or ill will. It's mostly tied to ignorance, you know? Everybody's got their own life, and they've got things going on, and sometimes people get their blinders on, and they're stuck in their own little world until you're like, hey, you know, I'm really this, that, and the other, and then they're, boom, right there for you. So, just reach out, talk to somebody if you're having issues, you know? Oh, it's hard to talk about. Even at this moment, I thought I was ready, but please, kindness and compassion. Let's make this world a much, much better place to live in. As mentioned moments ago, we have a 3-part plan to beating Roark and his rock types. Rock against fire, not a good matchup for us, good matchup for him. Step 1 is to EV train, which we are doing here. I've already been to Orberg City, so I've fought every trainer that I can fight or figured out how to avoid them. So we are going to EV train to the absolute max. Part 2 of our 3-part plan is to, of course, get Jack to level 14, and at level 14, that is the level cap, and Chimchar evolves into Monferno. This gives us the fighting type, and gives us the stab move Mach Punch. Mach Punch is also priority. We could use Rock Smash, but Mach Punch is just going to be a little bit better. Part 3 to our 3-part plan is to head over to Route 207 and catch a Machop. I know it's not a fire type, and some may say that this is not right because we caught something that wasn't a fire type, but hey, we're using things that are in the game and we are not cheating. We trade it for this Abra, and Kaza the Abra actually is holding an Oran Berry. We can then equip the Oran Berry to Jack, and I honestly think without this Oran Berry, this battle is not doable without a lot of RNG luck. So this is just going to up the odds for us, and now our 3-part plan is complete. On Route 207, we can get our next encounter before the first gym, Ponyta. Now, Ponyta's not going to do much on the team, but if Jack happens to go down, hopefully we can swap Ponyta in, and we will still have a run. I did not stock up on Pokeballs, so we are getting very low on them, so we might not actually catch this Pokemon. Okay, good. Woo! Now, there is a name theme with this run, just like every other run. It might be a little obscure, and some people probably don't know what it is. I will mention it when I catch our last encounter, but we nicknamed the Ponyta Sarah, and Sarah has a quiet plus special attack minus speed nature. That's not good for a physical Pokemon. The 3-part plan that we came up with is not a guaranteed win against Roark. If Roark gets a couple of critical hits, we're done. As long as Roark doesn't get too many critical hits, we can win this battle no problem. Rock Throw is a very inaccurate move, so with a little bit of missed luck and maybe a crit on our end, we can win this thing relatively easy. Geodude starts off, and we out-prioritize it obviously with Mach Punch, and we do well over Geodude's health. And of course, Geodude does connect with a Rock Throw that does 10 HP of damage. One more Mach Punch takes out the Geodude. Okay, so far, so good. Out comes Onix. We did grow to level 15, so we get a little bit to our stats, but Onix is a bulky boy. We hit it with Mach Punch and it doesn't quite do half. Onix just sets up the Stealth Rocks. I knew it was going to do that. The only way we're going to be able to two-shot this thing is if I go for Leer, which I do to lower its defense, and then of course we get hit with a Rock Throw, and it crits down to 25 HP. It still doesn't do much, that's still just 10 HP of damage. We can take out the Onix with another Mach Punch. So we're sitting just above half health as the Cranidos comes out. Cranidos is scary, it has the highest attack stat in this game. I hit it with a Mach Punch, this thing has lower defense than Onix, and we take this thing all the way to low red health, but Headbutt takes us all the way down to 9 HP. That is 16 ticks of damage. Our Oran Berry brings us back up to 19 so we could survive a non-critical hit, but Potion doesn't heal up Cranidos enough and we can take it out with one more Mach Punch, winning us a fairly decent first gym badge. Our next major roadblock is Commander Mars in the Valley Windworks. Now typically this is a very difficult battle because she has a Purugly that is a very difficult Pokemon, but I have a super effective move against her, but I'm still going to show this battle because it's crazy what happens. Zubat, not crazy, it goes down to a single Flame Wheel. Purugly is a triple threat Pokemon. It's fast, it hits hard, and it's ugly. So we got to take this thing out, and this is insane. We hit it with a Mach Punch, and Mach Punch does well over half of its health. It heals up with an Oran Berry, and then hits us with a Fake Out. So, Fake Out is a priority move, but we out-prioritized him with Mach Punch. I didn't know you could do that. That's insane to me. Another Mach Punch takes out the Purugly and we win the battle, but, I learned something new. A lot of times I just mash through this dialogue, but this little girl says, "Thanks, you made those bad people go away. I think the balloon Pokemon will come visiting again." Have you ever read Drifloon's Dex entry? Please do not let her play with that Pokemon, please. In Eterna City, next to the Pokemon Center, we can come talk to this guy right here, and he will give us the Explorer Kit. Now, we have to go underground and come back out and talk to him, but eventually we can get to running around to where we can dig for items. Those items that we can get are things like type boosting plates, like the Flame Plate, the Fist Plate, the Zap Plate, things like that. We can get our hands on the Damp Rock, the Icy Rock, Heart Scales. There are so many things that we can get, and every single one of those items is sellable for money, so we essentially have unlimited money at this point. Most importantly, what we can get inside of the underground here is things like Firestones. Yep, we don't need many, we just need one. Gardenia is the second gym leader, and her Pokemon are grass types. Our 3-part plan is just to press A, press A, press A. Against her lead Turtwig, we start that plan by pressing A on Flame Wheel, and we do, in fact, one-shot the Turtwig. Very nice. Her Cherrim comes out next, and we press A on Flame Wheel, but surprise, surprise, it holds on with a sliver of health left and hits us with a pretty weak Grass Knot. I know that Gardenia is going to use a potion, but I don't know what kind of potion, so I go for a Tail Whip as she uses a Super Potion. The -1 to defense really doesn't matter. Next turn, we can outspeed it and take it out with a Flame Wheel. This just leaves her Ace Roserade. We click A on Flame Wheel, and surprisingly, Roserade is not as bulky as Cherrim, and it goes down in a single hit. Normally, as I found, Commander Jupiter is the easier of the two commanders. However, this battle was difficult. Zubat goes down to a single Flame Wheel. I wasn't going to show this one, but I might as well show how I almost did something very stupid. Skuntank comes out and takes a decent amount of damage from Flame Wheel, not quite half, and we get hit with a Night Slash that takes us right down to just about half health. A critical hit from Night Slash would take us out, but I go for Stomp instead of switching. Skuntank has a Citrus Berry to heal up most of the damage we just did with Stomp. And then luckily, very luckily, we do not get crit from the Night Slash, sitting at 4 HP as I swap in Jack. As Jack swaps in, he gets hit with a Night Slash, and guess what? It crits. See? I'm very, very lucky. Fortunately, there's nothing I can do. I just have to go for it. So I go for Mach Punch. Mach Punch does a decent amount of damage, taking out about half of the remainder. And then Skuntank just whiffs a Poison Gas. I think it's because we resist Dark type being Fighting type, and we can take it out with another Flame Wheel. But that was a little too close for comfort. And now that we have access to a bicycle, we can actually come into the secret location of the Wayward Cave, and we can get our hands on a very good TM very, very early in the game. Repel, we don't want to get into too many battles. Just up these stairs right here is the TM for Earthquake. Nice. We can also backtrack to the Orberg Gate and come to the back corner here and get the Brick Break TM, TM31, now that we have the bicycle. After a bit of backtracking, we do find our way to Hearthome City, and next to the Pokemon Center, we can talk to this person whose name is Bebe. Now, Bebe controls the PC boxes, but more importantly, she gives us our next encounter, Eevee. Now, of course, Eevee is a normal type and is not a viable member of the team until it's a fire type, and we can't evolve it until we get a Firestone. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Continuing with the name theme, I nickname our Eevee Liam. Let's take a look at Liam to see what it's about. Liam here has a jolly plus speed minus special attack nature. I'll take it. We need to make Eevee a viable member of the team, and to do so we have to evolve it via a Firestone. We only need one. We don't have Growlithe and Vulpix, so I don't need more than that. The easiest way to get a Firestone is to head to the Solaceon Ruins, but we can't do that until we beat Fantina. So, I think we're going to need Liam for the battle with Fantina, so the only thing that we can do is go to the underground and get a Firestone that way. And that's exactly what I did. In the first 10 minutes I was down in the underground, I found a couple of good things. I found a Flame Plate and I found a Thunderstone. I kept digging and digging and digging, and it took another 2 hours before I got my hands on a Firestone. Yeah, that sucked. But it was definitely worth the grind. Got a bunch of heart scales, got some other plates like the Earth Plate and the Spooky Plate, but we got our Firestone, and now we can make Liam a viable member on this team. Again, as I said, I think we're going to need all 3 of these Pokemon to beat Fantina, because even though they're just ghosts, they're not really to be trifled with. Her ace, Miss Magius, is a beast of a Pokemon. Very nice. Welcome to the team officially, Liam. Coming up with a foolproof plan to beat Fantina starts with us getting the TM for Substitute in the old chateau. We're going to pick up the Dread Plate here, but unfortunately Liam doesn't learn Bite until level 29, which is, of course, after the level cap. The next thing that we need to do for our foolproof plan is head back to Route 204 now that we have access to Cut, and cut this cut tree. And then come talk to this lady right here who is flirting with us and gives us the TM for Captivate. With Captivate and Substitute, I think that we can beat Fantina with a foolproof plan. So the thing about foolproof plans is they make a better fool. And I am that better fool because 2 of the things I was going to do, equip Jack with a Chesto Berry and teach Jack Substitute, I forgot to do both of them. Luckily, I did teach Liam at least Captivate, so we can still implement somewhat of a plan. The RNG gods are not with us in this battle either, just watch. The battle starts off great with Jack using a flame wheel on the Duskull, doing well over half of its health, leaving it in low yellow health. Duskull just sets up a future sight, which is fine. We can take it out with one more flame wheel. This brings out Haunter. Haunter takes a significant amount of damage down to low yellow health with a flame wheel, but then tags us with a confuse ray. We get hit with the future sight attack right after for some chip, and Fantina goes for a super potion, fully healing up Haunter. Jack then decides it's self-destruction time and hurts itself in confusion. It breaks through confusion the second turn to take Haunter down to a sliver of red health with a flame wheel as we get hit with a Shadow Claw down to 24 HP. We have an Oranberry on, so that activates. Jack is still very self-destructive though, hurting himself into confusion. Luckily for us, Haunter misses that hypnosis, which is why I wanted the Chesto Berry. But nonetheless, we finally snap out of confusion and can take out the Haunter with one more flame wheel. The reason I wanted Jack in and I left Jack in, risking his death once again, is because Mismagius is going to come out and use Psybeam instead of a Stab Shadow Ball as we swap. Mismagius comes out, I swap into Liam, and just like I thought, she goes for Psybeam. I have to tank another attack, and 2 Stab Shadow Balls would have been too much. It wouldn't have KO'd us, but a critical hit could have. We get off a Captivate, lowering Mismagius' special attack by 2 stages, and then I decide it's time to lower some accuracy. We have to tank another Shadow Ball, which we do down to 32 HP, activating our Berry. We get off a Sand attack, we get hit with another Shadow Ball that takes us down to 27 HP, and we can get off one final Sand attack. I do not want to risk a crit. I really wanted to get more Sand attacks and even another Captivate off, but I am forced to switch out into our healthy pony, Sarah. Sarah does avoid a Shadow Ball on the swap-in, so that was a free swap, which is really nice. But we get outsped and tagged with a Confuse Ray, which is very annoying because Sarah is just as self-destructive as Jack and decides to hurt herself in confusion. We then get hit with a Stab Shadow Ball that's still doing a decent amount of damage down to 33 HP, activating our Oranberry up to 43 HP. Sarah is even more self-destructive because she hurts herself again in confusion down to 23 HP. Mismagius hits us with a Shadow Ball down to 5 HP and gets the special defense lowering. We can finally get off a Flame Wheel that doesn't even do half of Mismagius' health. And I have no choice. I can either sack Sarah or I can try to keep her alive by swapping into Jack and hoping for a miss, which we get. Beautiful. We can then fire off a Flame Wheel with Jack against the Mismagius, and luckily it is enough to take her out, winning us a very hard-fought 3rd gym. Whew. Leaving Hardhome City, we have a battle with our rival Algo. Now, luckily, I was planned for this battle because this one is very dangerous. Staravia has the super effective stab wing attack that could take out Jack very easily, and Primplup has Bubble Beam that could take out our entire team. So the play is to go for sand attacks with Liam to lower Staravia's accuracy, hopefully get off a growl or a few to lower its attack, and then swap in Jack, set up a substitute, which we did teach at this time. And we need that sub up or we will not be able to beat the Primplup. So after some back and forth with sand attacks, eventually we do miss a couple because Staravia is setting up double teams as we go. But we do eventually get 6 sand attacks off. Staravia does start hitting us with wing attacks, taking us very low in health down to 34 HP after the berry. Missing a bunch, but we do finally get a growl off, and then we get hit with a wing attack down to 18 HP, so I am forced to swap out Jack. Wing attack misses on the swap, which is great. We can set up substitute for free. Staravia misses its next wing attack, and we connect with a neutral brick break that takes Staravia down to red health. Staravia then hits us with a wing attack, breaking our sub. That's annoying because we need the sub up. I cannot do the Primplup battle without it, so I reset up my sub. Staravia goes for Endeavor, which misses. That's great. I go for Brick Break that misses, and Staravia of course connects with another wing attack. I then set up another substitute that takes 19 HP of our life away, but our Oranberry does heal us up to 31 HP, so I can set up one more sub. We miss a Brick Break, Staravia misses a wing attack, and then finally we connect through that -6, or +6 to its evasion rather, and can KO the Staravia. When his Primplup evolves into Empoleon, we're going to be able to take it out really easy with fighting type moves because of its steel typing, but right now Primplup is very dangerous. Again, we're pretty lucky that Brick Break does well over half of its health. We do soak up that Bubble Beam with our substitute so that we don't get KO'd, and we can take out the Primplup with one more Brick Break. What a battle this one was. It still has a Roselia and a Ponyta, but that's fine. I swap into Sarah as we get hit with a tackle from Ponyta. That of course crits, why wouldn't it? But then we can fire off a Stomp that KOs, getting a critical hit of our own. Beautiful. This just leaves his Roselia, which of course goes down to a single Flame Wheel, and we won the battle without any deaths. Nice. Now we kind of breezed right through Solaceon and went straight to Veilstone. There's nothing going on at the ruins that we need since we got our Firestone in the underground. In Veilstone, however, we can come in here to the department store and do a bunch of shopping. There is the game corner where we can get our hands on TMs there. Here we can get Natural Gift. Maybe the screens, I don't know if I want any other TMs. Definitely Natural Gift. But we can start selling off a bunch of items as well. We're probably going to pick up a couple of the Solar Beam TMs while we're here. Inventory management at this point is what we're looking at. Selling off some of these different items like the HP up that we don't need, and buying some items that we do need. South of Veilstone, we can pick up a very, very good item that we will use later, the Magmarizer. We then have a potential for another encounter. The scary thing about Houndour is it has Roar. I did pick up some Ultra Balls whilst we were in the department store of Veilstone. Oh my goodness, we actually caught this thing. Great. Houndour is such a good Pokemon. This thing is going to be a vital piece of the team. So had we not caught it, there's a couple of battles I don't know that we could actually get through. Continuing with the name theme, we are going to nickname Houndour here Emily. Welcome to the team. Jack, Sarah, Emily, we're starting to fill out real nice. Now Emily has a hasty plus speed minus defense nature. Minus defense is not great, but these plus speed natures are. Has the flash fire ability. This Pokemon is great. I'm so happy it's on the team. To prove how strong Emily is, I'm going to use her against Maylene. Now, Maylene's first two Pokemon, Meditite and Machoke, have Rock Tomb, and then her Lucario has Bone Rush to counter Fire-type Pokemon. Maylene also has Fighting-type moves, which are super effective against Emily, but I'm going to show you how much of a beast this thing is. I equipped her with the Flame Plate. Because of that plus speed nature, we're going to outspeed except for the Priority Fake Out that does some chip damage, but after that, we can fire off a Flame Plate boosted Flamethrower, you try to say that, and one-shot the Meditite. I could edit that out, but what's the fun in that? I'm not perfect at my speech at all times. Machoke comes out. Flame Plate boosted Flamethrower one-shots the Machoke as well. Last for her is her Lucario. It's a Steel Fighting type, so it's weak to Fire type, and we can take it out with a single Flamethrower as well. The level cap is high enough now to where Jack can evolve into an Infernape, and this is a beastly evolution. I forgot to show off Houndour evolving, but as soon as I got it a single level, it evolved. Sorry about that. But welcome to the team, Infernape, you beastly monkey boy. There's another rival battle with Algo just before we get to Wake's gym, but with all the heart scales we got in the underground, we can go over to the Move Tutor's house on Route 212, and we can teach Jack a lot of really good moves. So the play to beat him this time is to lead with Emily to soak up the Intimidate, and then swap immediately into Jack, because Staravia is going to go for Double Team, which it does, and now we have taught Jack Thunder Punch. Unfortunately for us, we miss our first one. It sets up its second double team. We miss our second Thunder Punch. It goes for a third double team, and of course we miss again. It goes for another double team, and we miss for a fourth time as it sets up its fifth double team. We finally break through that evasion to KO the Staravia with a single Zap Plate boosted Thunder Punch. I need the Zap Plate on, and I mention that because as the Primplup comes out, it's arranged to kill this thing without the Zap Plate. Luckily we found it, and we can easily one-shot the Primplup. No problem, no sand attack strats, none of that crap. It's just an easy brute force win. Ponyta comes out. We know close combat now, so we can take this thing out with a single close combat, and that just leaves his Roselia, and Roselia goes down to a single Fire Punch. We swept his entire team with just Jack. Very nice. I honestly can't tell you how many hours it took for me to come up with a plan to beat Crasher Wake. I went back and forth with all these different swap here, swap there, use this, teach that. Eventually I came up with a flawless plan without flaws. The only thing that we have to do is risk a critical hit against Emily. So let's see how this goes. I don't know what else I could do. We soak up the Intimidate with Emily. I set up Sun turn 1 to weaken Gyarados' Waterfall. The other thing that I did was I got the type weakening berries from the Lady in Pastoria, got myself a Pasho Berry so we take very minimal damage from the first Waterfall. Down to 71 HP. That's still a decent amount of damage, but severely weakened. We can then fire off a neutral Solar Beam against the Gyarados, and because Emily is such a beast, it does well over half of Gyarados' health. It's at this point that I have to risk the crit, as Gyarados goes for another Waterfall. We survive on 5 HP. That is amazing. We can fire off another Solar Beam, and this will KO the Gyarados. Had I gotten killed here, we would have had to revamp our plans, but the reason I don't want to swap too much is because the sun is only up for so many turns. This brings out Quagsire. Even at 5 HP, we can outspeed this thing. It doesn't have any priority moves, and we can easily KO it with a quad super effective Solar Beam. Last for him is his Floatzel, and this is the biggest problem. Floatzel has the priority move Aqua Jet, so I didn't know what I could do to work around that. With the sun still up, we can swap in Jack. Jack gets hit with that aforementioned Aqua Jet, but we tank it fairly well with the sun up, and then I can fire off a Thunder Punch because it didn't go for another Aqua Jet, easily KOing the Floatzel, winning us a deathless battle, just barely. One act of domestic terrorism later, we find ourselves in Celestic Town getting the different specs items from this guy. The choice specs is huge. We can also get the wise glasses and the black glasses here at different times of day. We then get a lesson in the Lake Trio from the old lady we had to give a necklace to. I think Cynthia's trying to set me up with her grandma. I don't know. Nonetheless, we do finally get to officially meet Cyrus for the first time. We've seen him a few times throughout different parts of this game, but now we get to meet him and we get to battle him. There are a few difficult battles in this game. Crasher Wake, because of our fire types. Cyrus, but not until the Distortion world. Really, I'm not worried about Cyrus here or in the Galactic HQ. His Distortion world team is going to be difficult. The other hard fight is going to be Bertha, and then of course the champion Cynthia. Now Emily does KO the first two Pokemon, burns the Golbat on turn 1, but Burn doesn't take it out, and we get supersonicked, and then become a little bit self-destructive, and eventually get taken down to 10 HP, where I have to swap into Sarah to finish out the battle. Again, wasn't really worried about these fights. Even the poison doesn't matter that much. But we do have a few upcoming difficult battles that we are planning for even at this point in the run. After the Cyrus stuff, we do get access to the HM for Surf, which gets us to the Fuego Ironworks, where we can come in contact with our last encounter, Magmar. We catch Magmar in a Premier Ball, which is pretty cool, and we can nickname this thing. Keeping with the nickname theme, I nickname Magmar Mia. Pretty Pretty nice, but it gets transferred to a box, so I forgot to take off one of my HM mods. Mia here has a naive plus speed minus special defense nature that's like the third plus speed nature I've gotten. It has the flame body ability, which is absolutely clutch. Now for those of you guessing the name theme, it's based on a children's book called The Adventure of Five Friends, Journey to the Heart of Friendship. It's a cute little book about 5 friends, and their names are Sarah, Jack, Emily, Liam, and Mia. Again, a little off the cuff and a little bit different here, but hey, 5 Pokemon, 5 friends. Yeah, I thought it was neat. With the availability to surf, we can come to Route 221, and this house right here houses a guy that's looking for Pokemon at certain levels. If you show him a Pokemon with that level 7, he will give us an item. Our Bidoof surprisingly is level 7, so he gives us a Focus Sash, but we can also get the Black Belt and the Expert Belt item from this guy. So I'm going to need to spend some time re-rolling the days until we get those items. On the bridge in Canalave, we have a rival battle with Algo, and his team is getting to be fully evolved. He has a Staraptor to lead with Intimidate, and he now has an Empoleon. I lead with Sarah to soak up the Intimidate and then immediately swap into Jack. Staraptor goes for double team as I thought it would, and we do miss our first Thunder Punch. Staraptor sets up a second double team, but then we connect with a Thunder Punch to KO the Staraptor. Out next is the Empoleon, and because it's a steel type, it goes down to a single stab super effective close combat. I do have the Expert Belt on Jack at this point. Heracross then comes out, and I was going to do another Jack sweep as we take it out with a Fire Punch, but I noticed my experience points are getting to be too high, and if I overlevel Jack, that's going to be bad for the next gym. So as Rapidash comes out, I swap into Liam, who gets hit with a takedown on the swap in, and then gets its defense lowered with a Tail Whip. I just go for a Dig, which does take out the Rapidash. And last but not least is Algo's Rose Raid. I swap into Emily, who gets hit with a Giga Drain on the swap in, but a single Flamethrower is enough to take it out, winning us a very easy rival battle. So normally I make fun of Byron for being dirty and homeless and other things, but let's really look at him. He does look dirty. He holds a shovel. Shouldn't he be a ground type trainer, not a steel type trainer? I don't know. Magneton comes out and I lead Emily. Emily has the choice specs, so we outspeed the Magneton to take it out with a specs boosted super effective stab flamethrower. This brings out Steelix. Steelix is typically very defensively bulky, but on the special side, not so much. So a specs boosted flamethrower is enough to KO the Steelix. Very easy. This brings out Bastiodon, who is a rock steel type. Takes neutral damage from fire, so I swap into Jack. Jack just has to tank a Stone Edge, which it does very, very well. And then we can fire off a quad super effective stab expert belt boosted close combat to easily one-shot the Bastiodon, winning us a very, very easy gym battle. One more act of domestic terrorism, a humbling battle for Dawn, a blizzard of epic proportions. We finally catch up with the madman that we've been chasing this whole time, our rival Algo. With all of that, we arrive in Snowpoint City to take on the 7th gym leader, Candice, and her ice types. Now, Candice and her ice types are not going to be very difficult for us. I didn't do any planning for this battle. All I did was take the choice specs off of Emily and put them on Mia to give Mia a little bit of screen time. Against her Sneasel, Mia does actually outspeed it and can tag it with that specs boosted stab super effective flamethrower, one-shotting it. Piloswine comes out next and it falls to the same exact fate. Flamethrower one-shots it, and this brings out Abomasnow. Abomasnow sets up the hail with its snow warning ability, but we can outspeed and take it out with a quad super effective specs boosted flamethrower, stab, the whole 9 yards. This just leaves Frostlass, her last Pokemon, who does have a +1 to evasion because of the aforementioned hail. It does actually outspeed us despite the speed boost from Specs and sets up a double team, but Mia does not care about the +2 to evasion, breaking through it to KO it with a stab, super effective, specs boosted flamethrower. That was a very easy gym battle as well. Now, I've been holding off on the evolution of Sarah until the level cap was high enough because at level 46, it learns Flare Blitz. It learns Bounce at level 42. As a Rapidash, it would learn Flare Blitz at level 56. So now we can finally let Sarah evolve into a beastly Rapidash. With a complete gym under her belt, I decided to trade Mia with the Magmarizer so that it can evolve into its beastly form, Magmortar. This is the last evolution on the team. A beastly one at that. Congratulations, Mia. Welcome to the big times. Inside the Galactic Building, we have another battle with Cyrus that I'm not too worried about. We set up a Swords Dance turn 1 and then can take out the Sneasel with a Fire Punch, Crobat with a Thunder Punch, that plus speed nature coming in clutch, and Honchkrow goes down the exact same way. This is just a prelude to a much more difficult battle very, very soon. The double battle on top of Mount Coronet against Commander Mars and Jupiter with our rival Algo is a very annoying battle because he leads with the Munchlax that typically likes to go for stockpile and doesn't help us whatsoever. I was planning on taking this thing out turn 1, but I decided to go for Fire Punch against Bronzor to take it out because it likes to set up Reflect and I didn't want to deal with that. Yeah, we take it out with a single Fire Punch. Bronzor tags Munchlax with a Confuse Ray, and he hurts himself in confusion. Golbat comes out and we can take it out with a single Thunder Punch. Bronzor then sets up a Light Screen, and Munchlax breaks through confusion to tag it with a Screech. As Skuntank comes out, I was really thinking about taking out the Munchlax. At this point, I was thinking about going for close combat, but I don't want the lower defenses, so I go for Fire Punch that does right about half of its health. Skuntank then almost takes out the Munchlax with a Poison Jab, and we get hit with a Stab Extrasensory that is super effective from Bronzor, but it doesn't do a lot of damage. Munchlax then goes for Stockpile. I told you he would. Annoying. I go for another Fire Punch against the Skuntank, and it doesn't quite take it out, leaving it at very low red health, and heals up with a Citrus Berry. Skuntank takes out Munchlax with a Night Slash. We then get hit with another Extrasensory down to about a quarter of health, and Algo sends out a good Pokemon, Rapidash. I decide it's time to swap out, so I swap into Mia. Rapidash hits Bronzor with a very strong Fire Blast, but that Light Screen allows it to survive. And then we get doubled up Poison Jab and Extrasensory that does quite a bit of damage, leaving Mia in red health. I then go for Flamethrower against the Skuntank to take it out, and Rapidash connects with another Fire Blast to take out the Bronzor. Purugly comes out, and I swap into Emily. Hypnosis misses, and Rapidash tags Purugly with a decent little takedown. Emily then fires off a Flamethrower against the Purugly, doing about half of its health, activating its Citrus Berry, healing it back up to almost half. Rapidash gets hit with a pretty nasty slash, and Rapidash whiffs a Will-O-Wisp. I then go for another Flamethrower, but we get outsped, and Rapidash gets KO'd from a slash. Flamethrower connects, not quite KOing the Purugly, and out comes Heracross. Heracross tanks an Aerial Ace from the Purugly very well, and I set up a Sunny Day. Heracross just goes for Brick Break, KOing the Purugly. This just leaves her Golbat. It comes out and I go for Flamethrower, and that doesn't quite KO the Golbat despite being Sun Boosted. Air Cutter then does KO the Heracross, and out comes Staraptor. Now I thought I had this in the bag, but Staraptor goes for the priority quick attack, so Algo gets the final kill. Jerk. The second to last hardest battle that we have in this run is the boss fight with Cyrus here in the Distortion world, and I have a plan. I taunt Jack Earthquake over close combat, and it knows the Swords Dance TM as well. Turn 1 we can go for Swords Dance, setting us up to +2. The Intimidating Gyarados is why we need the boost to attack. We get tagged with a Flamethrower that, despite being not very effective, still does 42 damage, and that's pretty decent. I misclicked the next turn going for a Swords Dance, and so we have to tank another Flamethrower, and I didn't want to do this for reasons you will see momentarily. We survived the Flamethrower on 57 HP, and a +4 Expert Belted super effective Earthquake is enough to shake the Hellhound to its death. Out comes Gyarados. We get hit with that Intimidate to take us to +3 attack, and a +3 quad super effective Expert Belt boosted Thunder Punch is enough to take out the Gyarados. I'm trying to sound super smart, like all these professional Nuzlockers. Our plus speed nature comes in clutch as the Crobat comes out because we do outspeed it to take it out with a single Thunder Punch. All the other stuff I said before, +3 Expert Belt, super effective. Honchkrow comes out and it falls to the exact same fate. Very nice. This just leaves his Weavile, who is very fast like the Crobat. We can outspeed it, however, Weavile has Fake Out. If that had crit, that would have probably KO'd us. We might have survived it on a couple of HP, but that was too risky. I didn't need to risk it. A +3 stab, super effective, Expert Belt boosted Fire Punch does take out the Weavile, winning us this very difficult battle. I almost goofed. If you notice, right at the end of the Cyrus battle, we hit level 50, so Jack stays underneath the level cap, which is great because we can roll right into this battle with Volkner. Against his Jolteon, we're going to tag it with Earthquake, but we actually outspeed it because of that plus speed nature. We are holding the Expert Belt because of that. If we didn't outspeed the Jolteon, we'd have to hold a Cherry Berry because this thing's going to go for T-Wave turn 1 to get the speed advantage for the rest of his team, and this would be a very, very different battle. Without holding the Expert Belt, we don't one-shot the Electivire, so there was a lot of planning involved. Jolteon goes down to a single Earthquake nonetheless, Raichu goes down to a single Earthquake as well, and Electivire comes out, and as I said before, a single Earthquake surprisingly is enough to take out the bulky Electivire. This just leaves his Luxray. We go for Earthquake against the Luxray, and unfortunately, it doesn't take it out, and it survives at low red health. We then get hit with a Thunder Fang that does a decent amount of damage. Unlucky for us, it doesn't get the paralysis. Volkner goes for a full restore, and we just keep clicking Earthquake to bring this thing right back down to its low red health. He doesn't have another potion, so one more Earthquake takes it out, winning us the 8th and final gym. Oh hey, Jasmine, hey, how you doing? Algo, not right now, man, I'm trying to talk. Do you see what I'm doing? Yeah, no, I got all the badges, yeah, that's great. Come on, man, dude, they have a word for people like you, annoyance, a nuisance. I have another word that I don't know if I can say it, you know, YouTube and all that, but yeah, dude, come on, man, give me a break. Give me a break. Go on. Jeez. Oh, hey. Oh, yeah, that was absolutely my friend. Yeah, he's a little special. We've known each other since we were in baby shoes, and yeah, of course I'm compassionate. Absolutely. Oh, the HM for Waterfall, thank you so much. I was hoping maybe, you know, if you're not busy later, like, we could go somewhere. Came from very far away. I mean, I can show you around later. Sometimes the stuff that goes through my brain is just... We're not quite ready for the Elite Four, but I do want to get rid of the rival battle that we have just before heading to the Elite Four with Algo. It's going to be a very easy battle. I lead with Liam against his Staraptor to soak up the Intimidate, and then I swap in Jack. Crazy enough, Staraptor's not going for double team strats. Instead, he goes for close combat, which does a decent amount of damage to Jack on the swap in. I can then go for a Thunder Punch, which easily KOs the Staraptor. Out comes Empoleon. Empoleon goes down to a single super effective stab, Expert Belt boosted close combat. This brings out Snorlax, who's going to go down in the exact same way. This is going to be a Jack sweep. We have great moves. Heracross comes out and can go down to a single super effective stab, Expert Belt boosted Fire Punch. Rapidash comes out and goes down to a single super effective Expert Belt boosted Earthquake, and last but not least is his Rose Raid, who goes down the same way the Heracross did, to a single Fire Punch. Bye bye Algo, it was nice knowing you. So here is the team all leveled up to level 59 to meet Lucian's Ace Glade. We have Emily the Houndoom with Flamethrower, Solar Beam, Feint Attack, and Sunny Day. We have Jack the Infernape with Earthquake, Thunder Punch, Fire Punch, and Close Combat. Liam the Flareon with Dig, Return, Bite, and Fire Fang. Sarah the Rapidash with Flare Blitz, Stomp, Tail Whip, and Bounce. And last but not least is Mia the Magmortar with Flamethrower, Psychic, Sunny Day, and Solar Beam. These moves, of course, are not set in stone. I do have all the TMs I want, everything that I need. It's time to take on the Elite Four. Luckily, we get to start off the Elite Four on a pretty easy foot. Fire against bugs, fire wins. We're also pretty high leveled considering we leveled up everybody to Lucian's Pokemon. We lead with Emily against his Yanmega, and Emily has the choice specs. So we are going to click A 5 times, and these Pokemon are going to go away, hopefully. Yanmega falls to a Flamethrower. Out next is Heracross, who goes down to a single super effective Flamethrower. Out next is Vespiquen. Vespiquen 2 falls to a single stab super effective Flamethrower. Surprisingly, Scizor comes out next. I thought this would be the last Pokemon that comes out, but a quad super effective Flamethrower takes it out. And last but not least is Drapion, who is not a bug type. It is a Poison Dark, loses its bug type on the evolution, but nonetheless it still goes down to a choice specs boosted stab Flamethrower. This by far is going to be the most difficult battle in the entire run, and I had to silence the monkey clanging cymbals together in my head and use the other half of the peanut to figure out a strategy against it. We could come in and set up Sunny Day and go for Solar Beam against the Whiscash, but we need to be full health for the Hippowdon that comes out next, so I fire off a Grass-type Natural Gift with a held Rostberry that is a range to kill, and we get the range to KO the Whiscash. Perfect. Out next is Hippowdon, and the problem with Hippowdon is it sets up the Sandstorm with its Sandstream ability. So after it comes out, we can then set up the Sun, getting rid of the Sandstream, and also making Solar Beam one-shots. Hippowdon could have gone for Stone Edge, but it decided to go for the Stab Earthquake move, and if this gets a high roll, it KOs. If it gets a crit, it KOs. Do we survive? Yes, we do! On 12 HP. We can then KO the rest of her team no problem, and the backup plan is Emily. If Mia would have went down, Emily has Solar Beam as well. Very, very risky play. The Hippowdon goes down to a super effective Solar Beam. This brings out next Golem, who is quad weak to Solar Beam, so it goes down in a single hit. Out next is Rhyperior. It is also quad weak to Solar Beam, so it goes down to a single Solar Beam as well. And this just leaves Gliscor. Now, unfortunately, Gliscor could KO the entire team with Earthquake as well, but the sun is up, and Mia can do some serious damage, firing off a sun-boosted Flamethrower that is stab and enough to KO the Gliscor. The reason I didn't do this with Emily is because Emily's minus defense nature. Luckily, Mia doesn't have that, and she squeaked out a win, and we didn't have a death. Against Flint and his fire types, it's a mirror match, team versus team, fire trainer versus fire trainer. The difference is our team is EV trained, and they have me. Yeah, sure, that's an advantage. Nonetheless, this is a Press A simulator, Jack and Earthquake. Once again, I do have the Expert Belt to boost the super effective moves, and we can one-shot Houndoom with an Earthquake. Out comes the mirror match, Infernape versus Jack, but Jack is faster and can one-shot it with Earthquake. Rapidash comes out next. There's nothing that's going to outspeed us, and there's nothing his team can do. Rapidash falls to a single Earthquake. Flareon comes out, and though Flareon is a bit bulky, it still goes down to a single super effective Earthquake. And last but not least is Magmortar, who gets outsped and one-shot with a single Earthquake as well. On paper, the battle with Lucian seems pretty easy, right? We lead with Emily. Choice Specs boosted Dark Pulse, we take out the entire team, but the Gallade in the back doesn't take super effective damage. It's fighting type, it has Stone Edge, so their plan rapidly unfolds. But what I came up with is absolutely genius. Just watch. We lead Sarah against the Mr. Mime that likes to set up screens, but we have a Flame Plate and we have Flare Blitz that easily one-shots the Mr. Mime. Now, unfortunately, we do take a little bit of recoil damage from it, but it was a one-shot nonetheless. Gallade comes out next, and we outspeed it and can hit it with that Flame Plate boosted Stab Flare Blitz that with the Flame Plate is just enough to one-shot the Gallade. That critical hit didn't matter. It still would have one-shot it. The recoil damage takes us down to 68 HP, and this brings out the Bronzong that has Earthquake. I swap in Mia because of her higher defense, and we tank that aforementioned Earthquake very, very well. We can then take out the Bronzong with a Flamethrower, and this isn't boosted. This is just raw Mia power that takes out the Bronzong with a single Flamethrower. Out next is his Espeon, so I swap into Emily. Emily swaps in on a Psychic that of course doesn't affect us, and then we can outspeed and take it out with a Specs boosted Dark Pulse. Just amazing. This just leaves his Alakazam who comes out, and of course because of the Specs, we actually outspeed, and we can one-shot it with a Dark Pulse, winning us a Deathless run, or Deathless battle rather, and we're starting to see a potential Deathless run. The thoughts of a Deathless run can easily end right here. Cynthia is the hardest trainer in Sinnoh and regarded as one of the most difficult Pokemon League champions you can battle. Her non-monotype team is a hard team to plan around with a non-monotype team of your own, and if you have monotype teams, it's very, very difficult, especially if they're fire type. The only plan I have is to lead with Jack. I need to set up to +2 on the Spiritomb for the Garchomp later. This does leave us open to a critical hit from the Psychic that comes next. Fortunately for us, we do survive it on 51 HP, no critical hit. That is awesome. Had we gotten crit, we probably would have wiped right here. A +2 Fire Punch is enough to take out the Spiritomb, and out comes Melodic. Melodic having water-type moves was baited out next, but I can go for a Stab. Close combat, I do have the Fist Plate for that added boost of damage, and it is +2, which we don't need all of that to KO the Melodic. Next out is Togekiss. Togekiss in this game is flying normal. It doesn't get its fairy type until Gen 6, so a neutral +2 Stab, Fist Plate boosted close combat takes out the Togekiss. That's a lot of stuff to say consecutively. Next out is her Garchomp, and this is why we needed to set up against the Spiritomb. I don't know that we can KO this thing with a single close combat. It is a range. The Fist Plate closes that range and is enough to KO the Garchomp. That is absolutely amazing. I'm not sure if it's 100% guarantee that we KO this thing. I think it's still like a 98% chance, but that 2% normally burns me every time. As the Roserade comes out, I decide to go ahead and swap Jack out. He has done a lot of work, and I swap Mia in. Mia gets hit with a Sludge Bomb that does a significant amount of damage, leaving us at 99 HP. We would have survived a crit. Mia is still holding the Specs, so we can outspeed the Roserade and take her out with a Stab super effective Choice Specs boosted Flamethrower, and this just leaves Lucario. Lucario does have Extreme Speed. A critical hit Extreme Speed would take us out, but an Extreme Speed doesn't, which is why it doesn't go for it, and we can KO it with a Choice Spec boosted Stab super effective Flamethrower, winning us a deathless Fire type only challenge. This run was absolutely one of my most favorite runs I've ever done. I've had to put so much thought and effort into some of these battles, like the battle with Wake, a couple of the rival battles, using different strategies like Substitute and the Sand Attack, Captivate. It was just cool coming up with all these different things, using the type weakening berries, using different berries and natural gift and stuff. It was just so much fun. Were my plans flawless? No. Were they foolproof? No, I'm a better fool. But did we win? Yeah. Did we do it deathless? Oh man, I can't believe it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did, and of course the only way for me to see that is I need to quit waffling on and just get to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, I had so much fun doing this video, and I can't wait to get on to the next run. As always, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing if you're new. Thank you for the continued support. The channel is doing so well. Again, if you missed it before, you want to continue the conversation after the fact, after the video comes out, a link to the Discord is in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.